Okay, we're back. This is actually kind of my favorite slide. I decided to give you 10 helpful details. And as far as I know, and my therapist agrees, this really kind of hammers in on the basics and gives you some good stuff to roll on consistently, okay? 10 helpful details. The only thing you have, number one, the only thing you have control over is your choices. That's it. You are wasting your energy, your efforts, you're agonizing over something that you cannot change, you cannot impact, there's no reason to try. The only thing you can truly control is your actions. So anything beyond that, you gotta weigh what your cost is, okay? Focus on your choices and make that what your life is about, okay? What you need is within you. You will not find it elsewhere. I'm going to talk about my personal beliefs. My creator is in me. I have a spirit and a soul, and part of the entity that created me, the God that created me, is inside me. It is always there. This is something that's interesting that I've learned over the past many years, not just this short little journey that I've been on, but in my life, what I have found to be true is that lots of people call that something in them different things. I'm going to stand here and say that my God that I know that created us, that is what they are feeling. So whether you believe in God or not, I have found that people can find when they come into themselves that the entity that created them left their mark there. It is a actual part of you that helps you, and you can tap into that, and you can come inside yourself and feel that entity. So the power of it is phenomenal, and I'm totally brushing over it. And I don't want to get into, like I've said before, what I believe and what you should believe. What I want you to understand is that you are not alone. Never. Now, I'm saying this as a person who has been suicidal multiple times in my life. The last time I had suicidal what is the word that I'm trying to use? The last time that I was suicidal, and trying to figure out if it was worth going on, the thing that I was lucky enough to realize was that I was inside a ring of fire, and that within that ring of fire of my circumstance, the people that were inside of it, yes, were part of the problem, and they saw it the way that I feared they saw it to some extent, not exactly. But what I failed to realize it for a while is that entire world outside of that ring of fire was still there, and that the people out there would be aghast to think that I would consider ending my life due to what was happening inside this little circle of flame, that the only reason why I couldn't see past it is because the flames were too high. You're not alone. You're okay. Even if everybody you know doesn't believe you, doesn't see you the way it thinks you did something you didn't, maybe you did do it, I don't know, but there are ways out, and you're not alone. And I mean that. I have done this, and I have been at the absolute bottom more than once, and I just want to make sure to reiterate that you are never alone. Never, ever, ever, never. So I'm hoping that focusing on some of these truths will help bring you back to yourself, and that you will realize that inside you, you have what you need. So what you need is within you. You will not find it elsewhere. Don't reach out to what everyone else is trying to hand you. Don't lean on the stability of other concepts. You have what you need. Come to yourself. Think it through, sit with it, see what you've got. You have it in you, what you need. Number 3, wants are different than needs. You need to figure out what you actually need. We all know what we want. And there is so much in the self-developmental world of manifesting and intention, and all of that's valid, and I apply it too, but you need to understand wants are different than needs. Just because you want something, if you don't have it doesn't mean that you failed. You have what you need, okay? You are not what you feel. You can have your feelings, but you can let them go. That was one of the best quotes that I found, and I got it because I studied the Enneagram, and I definitely recommend the Enneagram personality system. The thing that makes that system different than all of the, other personality type things. I've never been good at them. I don't like them. I hate those tests so much I don't even know how to talk about it. But the Enneagram focuses on what motivates you. It's not really applicable to kids because they're still developing, but what you acquire over your childhood that shapes you into the person that you are. Part of what that is are the things, the beliefs inside you, and the experiences that you've had that have formulated coping mechanisms. They formulated your focus on something that that you're most scared of, and about that, not only are you most scared of it, but it's like compensating for it is what drives you. So, for example, I'm an Enneagram 8, and the way that I knew for sure that I was an Enneagram 8 was that I heard someone say, 8s don't have to be in control. They just don't want someone controlling them. And that for me was like, oh my gosh, that makes all the sense in the world. That is me. I know that as long as I have tabs on what's going on, I feel better than if I feel like someone else has control over me and I don't know what the heck's going on. So those are the wants are different than needs came from a situation where I was learning about the Enneagram, and an Enneagram 4 stated that, and it was a quote from someone who studies the Enneagram and had put that out there. But you are not your feelings. You can have them and you can let them go. The thing that I want to reiterate more than anything is your feelings are also messengers. So if you're scared to look at them and learn the language of them, please get this book. If you don't learn the language of your emotions and look at them as though they're trying to give you information, you're missing out on so much. Your whole life is getting weird signals from different places. Figure out what your emotions are, understand that you are feeling something, you are not that, and try to figure out what it's telling you. Another thing that was important that someone told me at the beginning of my journey was, fear has a place on the journey. It's giving you information. Just whatever you do, don't let it drive the bus. So, all these examples of ways that feelings are something that you can work with. They are for you, not against you, but you are not them. It's just information. So that's feelings. Number 5, you will always be both good, bad, light, dark, positive, and negative. You're not going to be perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's not about knowing everything. Our society expects us to know everything. We feel constantly tested, like we're supposed to prove ourselves with our knowledge and our understanding and our ability to say the right thing. I'm as guilty as anybody else with that, but I am going to say this. Perfectionism, anytime you're performing perfectionism, you're trying to keep people from seeing something about yourself that's real. So try to start shifting that. Try to be brave enough to step off of that. You don't have to present perfectly. I finally accepted that. And I'm actually putting something out there now. So you're always going to be both good, bad, light, dark, positive, negative. It's about a balance. There, you can bring it into balance by focusing on it. So pay attention, raise your self-awareness, and understand that it's not about being perfect, and it's not about achievement, and it's not about success in that way. You're always going to be both good and bad, light and dark, positive and negative. Number 6, you and your journey are unique, completely unique. Nothing about your journey is the same as anyone else's. So this is what I say that means. You know, when you're driving across town in your car and you see somebody that you know and they're going past you in another direction, you know that person. And then all of a sudden you build a whole story about where they're going or where they've been, or I bet blah, blah, blah. Or, well, it's normal for them to have a destination that's different than yours. Everyone's not going to the same place. I think that that's completely valid in life. Your journey is yours. What you've got in your tank, what you're driving, who you've got in your car with you, what your goals are, how fast you got to get there. All those things are something that are yours, not somebody else's. So as we're going through life, you need to remember that what you're experiencing is yours and what other people are experiencing is theirs. It's not our job to tell someone else where to go, how to drive, whatever. Get in your car, figure out what you need to do to get to where you're wanting to go, and be kind to people along the way, understanding that they have their own journey, that it is not yours. You don't get to tell them what to do. You may have ideas of where they shouldn't be going. That doesn't matter. It's not yours. It's theirs. So, you and your journey are unique. Live that way and let other people's be unique also. You are never alone. Already went over that. Totally important. You have number 8 is you have complete control over what you hold/carry. The amount of shit that I hoarded in my life that I had zero business hanging on to was enormous. It is the bulk of what I have worked through over the past 3 years. Please recognize that what you carry and what you hold, you can let go of. And that was a really hard lesson for me to figure out. I couldn't get it for the longest time. And then one day I suddenly thought about it and I was like, you know what? I come home from the grocery store and I didn't bring my own bag. So there's 25 grocery sacks for the 19 items that I bought. But I'm trying to get from my car into my house in as few trips as possible. So I go ahead and load up my arms on my way to the door, trying to fumble the key. I can't get it in the door. I'm dropping crap. Things are falling out. I get the door open. The dog's trying to come out. I'm trying to get to the alarm, trying to set stuff down so I can free up my hands to open the alarm thing and tap in the code. And all of that is so much harder than it has to be. And I'm frustrated and I'm irritated and I'm working way harder than I have to. When I thought about that and I thought about not having to carry and hold those things and trying to figure out how to set stuff down, how to release it, how to let it go, this is what worked for me. If I am carrying too much to be able to do what I need to do well, set it down. You can come back to it if you want to. You might not need to. You might decide that it feels really good not picking it up. You can, generally speaking, go back to it. So set it down, try it out, see how it feels. You can sit and meditate, which was the other thing that really, really, really helped me. And I'm going to mention this again in the next video, but on Netflix, if you have Netflix streaming service, on Netflix, they have Headspace's Guide to Meditation. And I had tried meditation plenty of times. That did such a good job of informing me what was happening physically in my brain and psychologically with me and neurologically with me. And now I know in my energy. All of the things that go on when we meditate, they explain that, and then they walk you through various types of meditation in a I think it's 5 or 6 episodes, but whatever it is. It was hugely effective for me. If you've been trying meditation, if you want to try meditation but haven't been successful, if you've never tried it, whatever, that's a great resource. There is an episode in there that they're teaching you to let things flow. Like when you have a thought, to not grab it. When you grab it, to release it. And the next thought that comes, do the same thing. That's a big part of what it is releasing what isn't yours to carry. So work on that. recognizing that you're carrying a lot of burdens emotionally or mentally that you don't have to. So look for those and set them down. Number 9 is forgiveness is about your expectations of the past. This was a big one for me. I like control. I hate being misunderstood. I hate having things from my past where I feel like people have judged me unfairly, and I know I'm not alone in that. So that little truth fell on me when I was listening to a Super Soul conversation of Oprah's podcast, where she has her Super Soul Sundays and they record them and they put them on the podcast. I was listening to like a best of the year or something, and it was just a little snippet that came through, and I don't even know if I know who it was that said it, but someone was talking about how forgiveness is about your expectations of the past. And when that really sunk in, that I was wasting that much effort on something that I had zero ability to change, and that the only thing that I can change is that my beliefs and my actions in accordance to those beliefs, it helped me move on so fast. So just try to recognize that when you're struggling to forgive somebody, number 1, it is not for them. It is about setting stuff down. It's not for them, it's for you. Number 2, anything that you're waiting on with forgiveness is about your expectations of the past. Sit down and think about that and examine it and open it up with some serious compassion and love, and look for a way out of that. Look for a way to set that down. That's my encouragement to you on that. And number 10 is comfort/ease can negatively impact our natural function and perception. This is so hard. My vacations are sitting on the beach. I love that. I want ease. One of my biggest motivators is trying to figure out how to not spend extra energy on stuff. I talk about it with everything that I do. I'm like, why are you wasting another trip? Why are you repeating that action? Anything where I have to duplicate my energy over and over again, those are my problems. Those are my hardest things. And so I'm looking for ease. I'm definitely looking for comfort. I am that person. I can endure so much tough stuff though. So what I have to remember is that by allowing myself to feel the difficult stuff, I know it's there. If you brush off your tough stuff, the things that you don't like, you're brushing off opportunities and you're sticking something back where you're not processing it. If you process it, the tough stuff, it's referred to often in the self-developmental world as alchemy. And the alchemy of it is, it's not that you're trying to feel better about what happened, okay? It's not that you're trying to feel better about what happened. It's that you have to take that and feel it, so that it's not like you're trying to gloss it over, is what I'm trying to say. You're not trying to like turn it into something good. It's not the silver lining per se, although that is what I'm talking about. But I'm going to say it like this. If you can take something that was not great, but you can learn something from it and you can retrieve information that you can apply to your actions, your beliefs and your actions, then you get change. Then you take some power back from it. Then you get paid something in return for the pain that you felt. You still have the pain. You still have to heal. The more you understand it and the more you look at it, the easier that is. You know what you learn what you're working with, and you learn how to figure it out, how not to keep repeating things, how to remove yourself from situations, how to understand something about yourself that you should understand so that you can do things in accordance to that. It has information for you when you have these emotions and these tough things, okay? So, number 10 was comfort and ease can negatively impact our natural function and perspective. Just remember, it's okay for you to feel tough stuff. Oh, I just thought of another little analogy story to go along with this. I recently was reading one of the stories. I'm pretty positive where I read it was in a book called Women Who Run with the Wolves. And if you haven't read that, that's on my top list of things that I'm reading right now that are like life-changingly, wonderfully beautiful and soul-helping for me. But in Women Who Run with Wolves, there was a story, I'm pretty sure that was where it was. Maybe it was somewhere else. Anyway, where a indigenous individual had not worn shoes until she was 20 years old. And she was telling this person that I never have gotten used to walking with blindfolds on my feet. Our ability to feel things is how we know what's there. Brene Brown recently said in one of the podcast interviews that I've already talked about, she said something along the lines of, those negative feelings, those tough things that we feel, the hard stuff, they are what let us know where we stop and where someone else begins a lot of times. It works with boundaries, and you get to find the edges of yourself, and you get to find where you are and where your boundaries should be, or where someone else's boundaries are that you need to recognize. So boundaries are another thing we'll get into, but just understand that feeling something bad can benefit you, and always trying to be at ease and comfort and not feel the tough stuff definitely negatively impacts your overall function and ability to perceive what's going on around you. If you're always turning that off, always numbing it, always brushing it away, you can't gain what it has to offer in information. So I encourage you to get tough and go after that, and not only look for ease and comfort in your life. I also added a bonus tip. Authentic connection happens when a person's individual value within the whole is recognized and understood. If you want to have good relationships in your life, and you want to have people who, if you have people in your life who don't recognize your individual value and allow you to belong as part of the whole, with that being what you have to offer and that they want that from you, if those people aren't willing to include you in the whole, then you're going to feel like you don't belong. That's false narrative. It's not the people that you need to put yourself around. So not only that, but you also have to look at other people with an effort to recognize their value and understand it, so that you can look people in the face who are different than you, and you can say, all right, I don't know how we see eye to eye, but I am willing to look and see what you have to offer. And I am willing to see what you bring to the table as a whole. If you go through life looking for that so much more often than you did, you will find it. So I encourage you to recognize that if you want connection in your life with people, and if you recognize that connection is a valuable piece of the puzzle as a whole community of people, I want to encourage you to recognize that and pay attention to it more and see how that fits in with you. So I'm going to read through them all one more time. 10 helpful details. Number one, the only thing you have control over is your choices. Number two, what you need is within you. You will not find it elsewhere. Number three, wants are different than needs. Number four, you are not what you feel. Number five, you will always be both, good, bad, light, dark, positive, negative. Number six, you and your journey are unique. Number seven, you are never alone. You're not. You're not. You have complete control over what you hold/carry is number 8. Number 9, forgiveness is about your expectations of the past. Number 10, comfort/ease can negatively impact our natural function and perception. You deserve a rest. You deserve comfort. That's not what I'm saying. It can. Be aware of that. And the bonus tip was authentic connection happens when a person's individual value within the whole is recognized and understood. So I really hope that this helped you guys out with some things. I hope that it gave you some aha moments. I want to know what those are. I have zero doubt that a lot of people have questions or comments, or maybe want to dispute some of what I said. You're welcome to email me. Again, I'm doing it this way old-fashioned email, not on a social media platform, because I don't have the ability to scatter my energy like that. I can't chase that many rabbits. I got to bring it into one place. An email is going to give me the opportunity to read through what people send me and then take those things and kind of compile them and do videos based on what you guys are asking me. So if you have questions, I want to address them. I want to approach them. I don't want to necessarily say this is the way it is, period, end of sentence. I can share with you what I've learned. I can share with you the things that have helped me. I'm gonna do a last video for this series just to tell you some basic things that have helped me, some resources. So click over to that if you want, but this is this and the two right before it were the meat of what I wanted to share with you, because I feel like if you understand these things, and the more that you understand these things, no matter what your self-improvement journey is, you will be able to kind of hone in and zero in on it and put your focus on the right places to be able to make the shifts that I think that you probably want. So that's what I had to share with you guys. Thank y'all for sitting through. This one was extra long, I know, and I'll get that other video done shortly.